Edifier have been on fire lately with their releases, so let's see if their long-awaited Neobuds Pro 2 hold up against the super competitive mid-range earbud market. Retail price here is $129 US. Now starting with the fit here, it's a moderately deep fit. For me, it's super comfortable and incredibly secure. I can weight train with these. I can run with these with no issues at all. If you have smaller ears, they should be fine as well, and you get tons of ear tip sizes to choose from. The only issue I faced was when running, the microphones do let a lot of wind in when you have the transparency mode on, so you could run with noise cancelling off, but not ideal. If you like using your earbuds when training, these have an IP54 dust and water resistant rating. Fine for a bit of light dusting and sweat, splashes of water, use in the rain. Now, Edifier not known for great battery life, and that continues with the Buds Pro 2. Noise cancelling off, 5.5 hours with the Buds, 22 hours in total with the case. Noise cancelling on, 4 hours from the Buds and 16 hours in total. Not very good at all. You get fast charge, so chuck the Buds in the case for 15 minutes. You're gonna get 2 hours of playback. No wireless charging, which at this price, you start to see with most earbuds. And taking all these numbers into account and the actual size of the case, it's not the most compact case out there. Definitely expecting more total battery. But you can customize the color of the LED in the app. Does it make up for the battery life though? Probably not. Now onto the controls, something Edifier seems to struggle with, and that continues with the Buds Pro 2 as well, sadly, because you only get a double tap and a triple tap. No single tap or long hold. And the reason is since these aren't using regular touch sensors, they use an accelerometer sensor, so you have to tap the bud pretty hard, but you can adjust this sensitivity in the app, and you can customize the controls in the app as well. You can add volume control, but you're still super limited with only 2 functions. You do get wearing detection to automatically pause and play your music, and you can turn this on or off in the app. If you use one earbud at a time, whatever controls you have set will be saved to each earbud, so you can't customize the controls when in single bud use. And when you are using one earbud, you can only use noise cancelling if you have the noise cancelling control set to that earbud. You can't turn noise cancelling on in the app, so a bit confusing there. If you want to use one earbud with noise cancelling, there are workarounds. And when you are using one earbud while you leave the other in the case, it doesn't work in mono mode, so you're not going to hear the left and right audio channel out of the one earbud. If it's the right earbud, you're only going to hear the right audio channel. Now continuing with connectivity, you're getting Bluetooth 5.3, SBC, AAC, LDAC, as well as LHDC, which normally you only see one of the two, so it's good to have both here. They also advertise LHDC-X, which is a spatial audio algorithm. I'll talk about that shortly though. Now you don't get multi-pairing here, which at this price should be a thing. There's buds now for like $40 US that have multi-pairing, so Edifier, what's going on? But you do get a low latency gaming mode. In my quick test, the latency gets brought down quite a bit, but here are the detailed results I got in my test on iOS and Android. Casual games, 400 milliseconds is good. You want to get closer to 200 milliseconds if you're into faster reaction games like shooters. But now let's head outside and see what the call quality sounds like. All right, so starting the test here with my iPhone 12 Pro microphone. All right, so starting the test here with the Edifier Neobuds Pro. All right, and here is the call quality of the Edifier Neobuds Pro 2. Testing. 1, 2, 3. All right, so now we're going to test the Buds' ability to block out the crowd noise as well as some fan noise. Testing the Buds' ability to block out the crowd noise as well as this fan noise, and keeping in mind only one microphone is going to be used at a time. Now this is the call quality of the Edifier Neobuds Pro 2. Check how quick this fan noise is going to get blocked out, keeping in mind only one microphone is going to get used at a time. Hopefully the Neobuds Pro 2 are just as good and hopefully slightly better. All right, before we talk about noise cancelling, if you're enjoying this video, please chuck a like down there. It really does help the video and the channel out. Now, how I test my noise cancelling, chuck on my soundbar and I'm cranking plain noise and crowd noise. So I'm getting low, middle, high, consistent, as well as inconsistent sounds. And here's my noise cancelling ranking with all the earbuds that I have tested. Neobuds Pro 2 coming in the tied 7th spot. Tied with the One More Evo and the Edifier Neobuds S, both pairs slightly more expensive. The Neobuds S blocks out voices better, but the Neobuds Pro 2 blocks out the low frequency sounds better. And you get 3 different modes of strength in the app you can customize, as well as a wind noise reduction mode, which will bring your noise cancelling strength down by about 50%, but that'll completely stop the wind coming in through the microphones. And the way these mics are positioned, it does pick up wind quite easily. And like I said, this is the same with the transparency mode, but thankfully there's barely any EQ shift. That's how your sound quality changes with noise cancelling on compared to noise cancelling off compared to transparency. So from noise cancelling on to transparency, I didn't notice anything. With noise cancelling off, there was a slight difference in the treble, but barely noticeable. Now onto the transparency mode, like I said, it does pick up wind quite easily, but the actual quality of the transparency mode is definitely up there at this price. It is slightly amplified, but if you want to have your earbuds in and have a conversation, if that's what you like to do, I'd be fine to do that with these earbuds. And they do have a slight amount of occlusion, which is the echo that you get when you speak with transparency mode on, but it's not too bad. You can't adjust the strength of the transparency, but you do have a vocal mode there, which will focus on voices and will reduce the external sounds a bit. But now onto the sound quality itself. The Neobuds range always had great sound, and the Neobuds Pro 2, it's pretty much a slightly improved Neobuds Pro. As you would expect, it actually sounds exactly the same as the Neobuds S, but overall it's a solid V-shaped tuning. The stock tuning is a bit too bright for me in the treble, so this is the EQ that works the best for me, and there's also a QR code here if you want to scan that, so slightly boosting the bass and mids and dialing down that high end. And the customization here is insane. You get Q factor and frequency adjustments you can make. So with my EQ customization here, it's a pretty bass boosted tuning, but you get the clear mid range and you get a super detailed treble response. Now, one of the biggest selling points here seems to be the spatial audio, but at least in my testing, it's not that great. This does use head tracking. It normally takes a second to calibrate, and I noticed I had to recalibrate it. It will sometimes go out of whack a little bit, but if you want head tracking, it works. I personally never use it. But when the spatial audio is on, it just sounds very strange, kind of muffled, weird echo effects. It just doesn't sound very good, at least to me. You can turn yourself into a dog though. That's pretty cool. And a small glitch I noticed, every time I turn spatial audio on, it will turn the EQ back to the default setting. So I have to go back, change the EQ, but if you don't use it, you're all good. Now you're probably thinking, how do these sound compared to the best of the best? Well, let's go through all the comparisons now. I was gonna do a ranking system here, but it's so close in the mid-range market, I couldn't do it. So we're gonna go through each earbud, all 8, as a little mini versus battle between each one. Let's do it. Starting with the Sony LinkBuds S, when it comes to controls, the LinkBuds S sort of get the win. You can add volume control, but then you have to sacrifice your playback control. So both controls aren't great. Let's leave it at that. Noise cancelling, Neobuds Pro 2 is slightly better. Transparency mode, the LinkBuds S slightly clearer. When it comes to volume, the LinkBuds S goes slightly louder, but the Neobuds sound better at those high volumes with more bass. And when it comes to the sound, the LinkBuds have a slightly more balanced tuning with clearer vocals. Neobuds are more dynamic. Next is the Nothing Ear 2. When it comes to controls, Ear 2 gets the easy win. You get everything, you can customize everything. Noise cancelling, the Neobuds are stronger. Transparency mode, it's a tie. Both are pretty good. Loud listening, the Ear 2 gives you 2 extra clicks of volume. And the sound quality here, Ear 2 is slightly more balanced. Again, Neobuds more V-shaped, depends on what you like. Next is the Soundcore Liberty 4. Controls, the Liberty 4 gets the win. Noise cancelling, Neobuds get the win. Transparency mode, it's a tie. Volume, it's pretty much the same. The sound quality here is super close. It's a similar kind of V-shaped tuning. The Liberty 4 does have a little bit of extra sparkle and detail in the treble though. Next is the Tozo Golden X1. When it comes to controls, Tozo give you full controls and customization, so they get the win. Noise cancelling, Neobuds Pro 2 get the win, and the Tozo X1 have pretty massive EQ shift, which I'm not a big fan of. Transparency mode, Neobuds just get the win. They have slightly less occlusion. Volume's the same, and when it comes to sound quality, this is a super close one. You do get slightly more bass on the X1. Both sound great though. I honestly give it a tie. Either pair you go for, you're all good. Now compared to the One More Evo, controls both aren't great. Noise cancelling is a tie. Transparency mode is super close. When it comes to sound quality though, I'm gonna choose the Neobuds Pro 2 because you can customize the sound with a regular EQ. Where in the One More Evo, you need to do the sound test and then you can't customize the sound after you do the sound test. And if you don't do the sound test, they don't sound good. So kind of a no-brainer there. Next, JBL Live Pro 2. When it comes to controls, pretty much the same situation as the LinkBuds S. Noise cancelling, Neobuds is slightly stronger. Transparency mode, JBL, slightly more natural. Volume, JBL about 1 click louder. When it comes to sound, the Neobuds have better overall clarity, but the Live Pro 2 have more sub bass. So if you like that nice subwoofer bass, you can push more out of the Live Pro 2. Next, OnePlus Buds Pro 2. When it comes to controls, I'll just give OnePlus the win. You can customize everything, but you can't add volume control in. Noise cancelling, Neobuds Pro 2 noticeably stronger. Transparency mode, slightly better on the Neobuds. Volume, the OnePlus Buds get 2 extra clicks. And when it comes to sound, the OnePlus Buds Pro 2 overall better, especially with the treble detail and soundstage. They did win the best mid-range sound quality in my earbud awards video and they still hold the title. But still, the Neobuds get pretty close, as do all the earbuds here. Now, final comparison, we've got the Soundcore Liberty 4NC. When it comes to controls, the 4NC give you everything you need. Noise cancelling, Neobuds get the win. Transparency, Neobuds slightly better. With volume, the 4NC get 2 extra clicks. And when it comes to sound, Neobuds Pro 2 slightly better, but it's really not a huge difference. But the 4NC are cheaper. You still get LDAC, you get ear detection, wireless charging, multi-point connection, the full controls. So a lot of the things that the Neobuds Pro 2 are missing at a cheaper price. So I got to point these things out. It's super competitive now, and you really got to make sure you have everything in your earbud to stand out. And the Neobuds Pro 2 missing some key features, but they do nail it with the sound quality and the noise cancelling. But an Edifier bud that does dominate the budget market is a TWS 1 Pro 2. So check out my review here if you haven't checked that out yet. Stay picky, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.